And I saw some posting from Facebook that really touches my heart. There's a mother posted a school bag and a new shoe, and they said, Alhamdulillah, I'm able to give my kids a new shoe and a new bag this season because of the rezeki from social distribution. So I thought, hey, it meant so much for a housewife in a rural area, that additional disposal income to help the husband. Right? I told husband, he said, hey, look, I think we need to do more of this, right? Yeah.
Welcome to Farm Fresh at UPM, and look at this glorious urban farm. We are here today with Mr. Loi, one of the co-founders of Farm Fresh, and we have an exciting journey to explore. And look at fresh milk in Malaysia, fresh milk in Asia. Who would have thought? When I was growing up, it was very difficult to get. And thanks to Mr. Loi, we can now get it in our supermarkets. Loi, welcome. And thank you for taking time with us today. It's a really exciting journey. Now, well, let's have a few icebreaker questions. Tea or coffee?
I want coffee.
Would you perhaps put milk in it? Or?
Of course, without fail, I need a cappuccino.
Now, is it going to be from your cows or is it going to be soy?
No, it will be from my cow, or from the lovely ladies there.
What is the one place you've always wanted to visit and why?
I think visiting the farm is almost like my very routine work, and that's one place that I truly enjoy my day. Whenever I have a chance to be at a farm, right? Big pasture, big land, a lot of reservoir, waters, lakes and things like that. I think, and then of course, a lot of dairy cows around, you know, that is probably one of the best day that you want to spend time with. Yeah.
Now, a tricky question. How would you describe your job to a 5-year-old?
Okay. I think I would tell the boys that, you know, uncle is the dairy farmer, and I'm responsible to grow you up tall and healthy. And these are all the cows that you see at the back here is my daily job, right? Yeah.
A rainy day, how would you spend it?
A rainy day.
Yeah, would you?
I'll probably just chill around, you know, and have some hot coffee. I do like maybe 4 or 5 shots a day. So coffee has been it's nice to have, especially if it is a cold day.
I'm actually a little bit more than one hand.
Oh, okay.
If I can get 5 shots, I'm actually doing quite well.
Okay.
What's your favourite time of day?
Favorite time of the day, I think most probably in the evening, whereby I'm a bit more chill, you know, get some of friends or some of my team together and have some drink and chat. That was probably, I felt that's a productive time for me when, you know, because during the day there's a lot of interruption, so it's hard to actually, you know, have some brainstorming or session. Yeah.
What's a hobby you've always wanted to do but haven't picked up yet?
So I think I used to play golf a bit. Then I think 97, 98 financial crisis, I actually hang my club. I say, let's get real. So many companies are tanking, like, you know, let's focus on business. And I didn't go back for 20 years after that. So recently I started the game. I think probably that's one game that I felt that, you know, you can actually pick it up again and enjoy it.
Excellent. Name 2 things you consider yourself to be very good at. Don't have to be humble.
I think, you know, as an entrepreneur, I'm pretty good at sniffing opportunities. That's one. And second thing is that having sniffed the opportunity, you need to build a team. So I think I'm pretty good at building my teams as well. So these are the 2 things I think I enjoy doing it.
They're your core competencies.
Probably.
Best advice you have received?
For best advice that I ever received, basically, I think probably from my dad, you know, that he emphasized a lot of integrity and being honest. So I think that formed the base of my, basically my life philosophy. And then over the years, you know, you probably also read, you know, other people, not that you've given advice, but you read about it. And some of these great people like Loi Tuan Ee, people like Robert Cox and all this, how they look at, you know, life and the principle that you have. So you pick up things that you think is important for you. Yeah.
Now, viewers, Mr. Loi is a founder and entrepreneur who co-founded Farm Fresh with a vision to produce fresh and pure dairy just as nature intended.
Yeah.
What sparked this vision?
Okay. Now, I actually spent my my early career, for 20 long years in the packaging industry. And I felt that it's a bit difficult, not very sustainable at that point of time because I think Malaysian cost structure wasn't very ideal. Companies are moving away to a cheaper place like China, Vietnam, and whatnot. So those are the things that I find that you can build a very good relationship with the customer. An email coming in, they are relocated, finished. You lost all the business. So over the years, I always wanted to come to a mind that I wanted to go into agriculture, food production, something that I underestimated a little bit the difficulties of it, going into food production. And that's how I set up my journey, that I wanted to do a business whereby day in, day out, once you have the customers, they're always there. So an evergreen business. So that is where, after 20 years, at 40 over years old, I make a big career change. A lot of people think I'm having air in my brain or something like that. So that's how we actually started. And from agriculture, we do a few things. We have livestock, we have fruit orchard, and then we also have fish and things like that. But finally, we goes back to pivot on the dairy product.
For that pivot, why dairy? Why cows?
Okay. Now, because I actually started with goats, goat's
okay.
milk. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very niche. That's how a small little cute animals, beautiful goats, right? But unfortunately, the markets are very niche and very small. Not many people can use to that kind of, they call it goaty smell. So from there, we begin to realize that, hey, go to the supermarket, you realize that there's a lot of this milk up there is not even fresh milk, right? It's all reconstituted. Yeah. So we think that, hey, there could be an opportunity, and because it's of a scale. So what we did is that from there on, we actually, moved into the dairy farming. Think a lot of friends are quite skeptical, or even my family members were quite skeptical because there's so many brands out there, right? And for such a long time. But I'm convinced because it tastes very different. The fresh milk is just way better than. So you have a good product. So basically that's how we think that it's a matter of time. We will slowly get the Malaysian to get used to it. That you have a better choice today, right? Yeah.
In the world we live in, there's always concerns, and there's always a lot of conversations about animal welfare, particularly in farming and so on, the well-being of cows. It's interesting. A happy cow is a more productive cow, so welfare is important. And Farm Fresh has some 12,000 dairy cows across Australia and Malaysia, which you refer to as ladies. But if you could share, how do you look after the welfare? I mean, we're a very warm climate.
Yeah. So I think when I first started this dairy, right, I think honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be that challenging. I even naive enough to name my company the Hosting Milk Company, like all the other farmers that you want the cow to give you the most milk, right? You can milk them. But once I'm in, I began to realize that, hey, this weather just absolutely no chance for this pure Holstein. And we will then have to work to find a better breed. And to do dairy in a sustainable manner, you have to ensure that you don't lose the animal because they are expensive. We air freight them in, cost 10,000 per cow, and after a year or two they fade away. Then you need to buy again. So I felt that if I were to go on to do that, we are finished. I was fortunate enough that the Queensland government way back in the late 60s, because in Australia you have a different territory. Everyone have to supply their own milk and things like that. The Queensland government developed the breed until, I think, probably until 90s, when they dismantled that regulation. That breed became irrelevant to Australia. Everybody moved south to do dairy farming. It's colder, right? What we want to do in Darwin, for example. Yeah. So, so that breed, we ended up owns that genetic, and that formed the base of how we actually do dairy farming in Malaysia, because it's very hot. So I think that itself gives us an opportunity to ensure that when you talk about sustainability, you are able to do the So our business is unlike the meat business, which you feedlot them, right? You bring in the cow, you finish them within 3 months, 4 months, you fatten them, then you slaughter them for the meat. But these ladies is going to be with us for 8 years, 10 years. That's what we want, right? So the care of that dairy animal become a very, very important part of our business. So therefore, in fact, we are very proud. Jacob and I is very proud. 2-3 years ago, we worked so hard to get our farm certified as a humane farming. And we are the first, as in commercial dairy farm in Asia to achieve that kind of thing. So across everyone in the farms, that we all know that this is very important to us. Please treat them well from the calf all the way until she start producing milk for us. And I hope that what you see here today, 8 years later, you come back, hey, she's still there, right? That's why you have to give them the comfort here.
Again, farming, of course, cows, manure, methane, we see all the headlines, of course. What is Farm Fresh's strategy for managing the environmental impact from the farm?
Yeah, I think this is one thing that Jacob and I think, spend a lot of time to ensure that, as we scale our dairy for scale, right, this is not the hobby farm, 20 cow, 50 cow, we are talking about, thousands of them. So we are very mindful to ensure that, as we grow our business, of course, when you be a dairy company, you make money, but you do not want to give problem to your neighbors and your downstream people, right? So the amount of waste that is generated through our dairy farming activities, I think we putting a lot of conscious efforts as well as investment to ensure that, all the manure slurry that coming up from our dairy farming is being decanted, separate. The slurry it's been, the waters and the solid is been, the water which is very rich in urines and things like that, which is actually high in nitrogen. So we invest irrigation system, the rain gardens and all this push across all the farm, the land to ensure that, all the pasture get irrigated, so they will grow. And then all the compost, that solid that we get convert to compost, we want to deposit back to the soil to ensure that, the soil is being rehabilitated. Because the land that we inherited, most of it's a very, very bad condition, highly acidic, and they're not very productive because after years or decades of chemical fertilizer, the soil condition is hard. You probably can't find earthworm in there, microbes levels are very, so we have to ensure that we deposit back all this compost, the humus and all, to rehabilitate the soil. And hopefully that, we start with maybe 5 tons of grass production a month, and you hope that you can go 6 tons, you go 7 tons, you go 8 tons. So these are the efforts that we really ensure that, we are doing. Methane gas emission for dairy farming, which is factual, right? The cow bird, the cow poo and things like that. And I felt very sorry that, that our ladies have always been blamed for the methane gas. I think we are mindful of that, but we also continue to invest. Like for example, right? We invest on a biogas digester, which is a huge investment in Muazzam Shah. We already get our operation up and running. We continue to fine tuning to optimize the gas that we can do. So with that biogas investment, we can reduce maybe about 9,600 tons of CO2 a year, and that gas being converted can fire our boiler. Our boiler now is running on fossil fuel diesel. So I think I probably can reduce about 600,000-700,000 liters of fossil fuel. So it's a very conscious effort, that we continue to do, right? Yeah.
As we started our conversation, you mentioned the pivot was because you wanted longevity, you wanted relationship with customers, consumers. So you built distribution, you built a brand, and you're a trusted brand. How does Farm Fresh maintain the safety of its products?
Now, I think when I first started this, right, the one pillar that, the core value of Farm Fresh is very, very important. I truly felt the hearts are burdened that in the sense that, that whatever food that you wanted to produce, the well-being of the customer is the center of our operation. So it's not just talk about it, right? This is something that you really have to have the passion, that you have to truly believe it. I remember when I first started, I would try to avoid preservative. I don't believe it. Why would you want to put preservative into some of the product, right? And then the coloring, right? And what is coloring added into the flavor milk is nothing but to attract the kids. What health benefit does it bring to the kids, right? So when I remember, we were the first company to come up with our yogurt drink without color, and the market was just, hey, why your strawberry doesn't look pink? Why your apple flavor doesn't look green, right? So I said, look, apple, is it green if you cut the flesh? It's just white, but why does it look green? So I said, please stop it, all these things. So I think that's how we actually started our journey. And over the years, I think the team, everyone know that this is our core value, right? How, we wanted to deliver very, very wholesome food to our customer from our dairy cow. Cows produce some very, very wholesome natural food. So why do you want to mess up with it? Just give them what as it is. So I think that over the years I built a lot of trust from the Malaysian customer, word of mouth and things like that. So we are glad that today, that we are for fresh category we're number 1. We won 3 times Putra Platinum Award. This is not an award that you use money to buy, voted by 25,000 Malaysian public, and we kind of felt good about it because at least the efforts that we put in Malaysian actually validated it for us that they love us.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, research and development is important in the dairy industry. One, not just for maximising milk production and products, but also ensuring the health of your cows and building sustainability practice over time. Could you share some of the key milestones that Farm Fresh has achieved through its research and development efforts?
Yeah, I think in terms of the R&D section, in terms of innovation, Farm Fresh has actually come up with a lot of product, right? A lot of product over the years. We started with just white milk, and then the chocolate milk, and then the kurma milk, for example. We literally created a category out of it, And Asmi and I remember that, that we wanted to come up with kurma milk, as in with kurma extract, not kurma flavor, right? As in real extract that we brought in from Middle East. We tried, was quite good for Ramadan.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, let's do a seasonal offer, get ready 100,000 bottles to last through. And the thing just went bunker. It goes so viral, and after less than a week plus, we are out of stock. So that was the experience. We taught us that that there was a product that we have created, and then over the years, and then a lot of mothers, drink it, feel that I get more milk out of it, the lactating mothers. So kurma was a very, very good, like a superfood, right? So that's how we actually do it, not by flavor, not by coloring, but with the real stuff. So I think over the years we have created quite a number of categories that we are proud of. Yeah.
FMCG, very competitive space. Always, you're fighting for shelf space, I'm sure. You're fighting for your consumers to continue to be with you. How do you ensure marketing materials do not mislead your customers?
As I say, FMCGs are highly competitive, and you are up against people that is here for a century old, 60, 70 years old. It's not going to be easy, right? The amount of informations, the amount of marketing spend, how they curate, their brand and the perception of their brand and things like that. So that is not going to be an easy thing. A young company like us, small, I think I felt that it's not going to be an easy task, but you've got to have that kind of tenacity and conviction to ensure that you continue to believe what you're doing. So from labeling standpoint, for example, why are we doing this place is actually for mom-to-mom club. We wanted to develop mom-to-mom club, drive, having a high tea with the mom, bringing them in, share with them about children nutrition, bringing nutrition to share, teach them about labeling, how you should read a label. What is called sugar? There are 100 types of sugar out there, right? When they say no sucrose, doesn't mean that there's no sugar inside. Just that don't have the particular. So the regulations are easily circumvented, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is something that I find that a lot of product that we see sometimes in the market, in my view, it's really bad for the kids because it is so. I mean, like maltodextrin, right?
Yeah.
The GI index is so high that when the kid take, they just go hyper, right? So the amount of product inside there because of this ingredient, right? Kids are getting hyperactive, kids are getting rot. You get stunting problem because if you reduce so much of a significant amount of the dairy ingredient inside there, where do you get the calcium, right? Because there's calcium from the block for the kids to grow up. So these are the things that I think is not an easy task for us. But I think that there are times when I'm a bit down, right? Thinking that up against this big oh, it's not going to be easy. Sometimes you feel that you are being defeated. You know, I probably have to watch some, you know, the villain show, the good and the bad, the fight, and halfway through, and then at the end, you know, you have this. The good one always win, right? So something you feel a bit comfort. Yeah, it might take times, you know. It's a long journey. So I think that is something that we will continue to focus on. Yeah.
Now, clearly, I'm not as young as I once was, but when I was a boy, we used paper bags, we used glass, we used cardboard cartons, and then things have changed. So how does Farm Fresh address reusability, recyclability? I mean, that's a challenge in this space, clearly, the waste being produced.
Correct. I think especially when you are in a space of liquid, right? You know, it has always been a challenge that, you know, how do you wanted to navigate that, right? So in our packaging, for example, we have the plastic packaging. All right. Although it is plastic, but it's recyclable. Again, then you fall back to, you know, how consumer actually handle that disposal, right? And we also have the paper carton, which is like this, you know, paper carton. And that one, you know, we all source to ensure that all the suppliers are FFG accredited, in other words, from the renewable paper. And of course, we also have our glass bottle, which is we started like maybe a year ago. It's very hard. It's very difficult for us to give the option to our customers, right? So, but we tried like this glass bottle. So we call it meal on tap. I think we roll out maybe 11 locations. We have displaced, you know, millions of pieces of plastic that go down to the, you know, recycle or whether landfills and what's not. It is not easy, but what we wanted to do, that we wanted to let the consumer know, hey guys, you know, there is an option here.
It's choice.
Yeah. Please bring your bottle back and we refill for you. But the earlier on when we start this, you can't imagine some of them didn't even wash the bottle and send it back to us. I said, please stop it, don't do that, right? You know, these bottles are being reused. So now we are continuing to perfect that logistics. You need to send the milk there, you need to collect the bottle back to wash and sanitize and send back again. So it's not easy, but we will continue to put in efforts to ensure that we have more washing station as we roll out more. So the Penang people are complaining they don't get it. You know, certain area Kuantan people they're not getting it. So we learn through the curve, and then we'll probably roll it out. Yeah.
Local empowerment through employment is very important to Farm Fresh business model. How do you employ local communities in your operations, Mr. Loi?
No, I think this is one thing that, you know, I used to talk to economic planning unit and the MOF and things like that, right? As to how they encourage us to go to the rural area, right? So, I mean, in our case, it's dairy farming. We have to be in rural because land is a big plot of land. Now, like for example, Muazzam Shah today, we're probably the largest private employers in Muazzam Shah. We went there, started the dairy farm over the last 10 years, you know. We have built out maybe about 400 over employees down there, and almost 80% are locals there, right? And not just the usual, the dairy farming, you know, the laborious part of it. We also have manufacturing, and then you have the QC, you have the admin, you have that the higher role executive, you know, technicians and all this. So to make, you know, 3, 4, 5,000 in Muazzam Shah, you have a very comfortable life. You make 3,000 in KL, you will be a paupers, right? So this is where, as I said, to drive that investment to a rural area, it is very important to actually elevate the poor. So I think we are very proud that all our, let's say for example, like Muazzam Shah, even Taiping Selama, that we go over there, we really give a lot of opportunity for the locals that, you know, that as they go through growing with us, they will find a very decent career with us. Yeah.
This then leads into my next question. You've got a very unique distribution model that empowers mothers and housewives to become micro-entrepreneurs, stockists, and agents for you. So there's empowerment. Perhaps what inspired you to adopt this strategy? And could you walk us through the process?
Okay. Yeah, I think this is something that Azmi and I, we are very passionate about, and we are really proud of it, right? So the backdrop of it was that, when we wanted to do some building of this network, if today, if you wanted to be a distributor with a big FMCG company, right, those national brand, if you don't have a couple of million bank guarantees with them, you don't have 5 or 10 trucks with them, you will never have the opportunity to be a distributor. So as we grow, right, we realize that, there are roles. This was actually started maybe 7, 8 years already by now. It was on chill. It was not easy, and especially our Kruma was actually become the lead, where the housewife actually sell within the tamans and things like that in a polyform box. That's how we actually started, and we are very, very measured with that because you need to have the cold chain. Now, then we have the UHT version, which is you don't have to be chilled. So we invest in the UHT space that enable the distribution to be done without chill. Right? So that's how we actually started. And then they can also store more product. I've seen some pictures, some housewives, their living hall is their store, their rooms, So that is how we actually started. And we began to realize, and I saw some very earlier on, some posting from Facebook that really touches my heart. There's a mother posted a school bag and a new shoe, and he said, Alhamdulillah, I'm able to give my kids a new shoe and a new bag this season because of the recipe from Susu distribution. So I thought, hey, look, 800 ringgit, 500 ringgit, 1,000 ringgit, it meant so much for a housewife in a rural area, that additional disposal income to help the husband, right? It is so. So we realized, hey, wow, I told husband, hey, look, I think we need to do more of this, right? So that's how we actually continue to build the network and invested a lot. We take some risks as well, of course there will be some bad apple. So that's how we actually started. And then, and we are very proud, how this honest, simple business can impact so many lives. I think maybe we got about 800, 1,000 of them in such a positive way. So I think this is something that we will continue to coach them. Of course, easier for me. Azmi is dealing with 800, 1,000. Of course, there is a lot of, not that easy, there will be, things that you need to manage. Yeah, he need to manage that. But thank God, things was really going well. We are very, very proud of that in a way that along our supply chain, right, our value chain, we're not only able to create opportunity for the rural people, we are biggest employer, Muazzam or Salamas and all this, but we're also able to go downstream, right, whereby all these housewives distributing our milk can also make a living out of it.
You've had a diverse career, or it's been quite a journey. Supervisor in oil mill, moving into machinery sales, and even running your own household care products and packaging materials business before dairy farming. Now, any advice on pivoting your career? What does it take? Because it is, a bit of a jump.
I know. I think being an entrepreneur, right, or even for any startup, my advice is that, to begin with, if you wanted to do something really, you have to make sure that you enjoy the business, something that you build that you like. Because if you can't, you probably don't have the energy to continue. Every day when you start the day, you feel down, right? So that would be a no-go, right? Now, having identified a business model that you think that you wanted to do, you enjoy, you got the strength of convictions. The hours is going to be long because when you build a business, right? So I think that is something that work and life balance. You probably have to put it aside because there will be a lot of sacrifice along the way. Now, but what's important, right? Like when I first started, I didn't expect the business to be that challenging, right? And it burned cash because I nearly 10. So fortunately, thank God, I have Khazanah coming in to back me to ensure that the trajectory takes off. So if you build a business whereby if you don't have enough cash, your runway is very, very short. Be careful with that. If you can't take off, or when you're about to get successful, you run out of runway, you're going to crash. So I think these are the things that the how you should thought through your business is very important because only you know that that you have to prepare. Don't be too optimistic that you're going to take it off. You have to, if that thing don't work out, how much cash do you left behind to continue, right? Yeah.
So you need, well, staying power or cash.
Right, yeah.
What we used to call
The business model.
What we used to call vitamin M, money.
Okay, right.
Then of course knowledge. If you're,
Knowledge.
because you pivoted from, you moved into farming.
Yeah.
How did you pick up your knowledge? How
My mind was quite set, I wanted to do food production. So as I said earlier on that, I do livestock, I do fish, I do orchard. Then eventually we settled down to pivot at our dairy operation. So this is where, as I say, a lot of readings, and then, my bedside full of books, friends in Australia, seeking help, bringing in flying people to give me the advice, bringing in the dairy nutritionist, to learn. So I think it was very steep, but you got to have that convictions to ensure that, because mine is long. At first, I enjoy doing it because I really enjoy going to farm. So you then have to really feel that, you have to acquire enough knowledge. And in the early days, I remember, because as I scaled the dairy farm, I began to realize that, hey, it's very hard to get good technical people, because our dairy industry is not established. So if the chickens are well, and things like that, those are very established. You can get top vet, helping you. So I began to realize that, looks like I'm going to have problem, right? So I have to go to Thailand, recruit some of the Thai vet. They have bigger dairy farm down there. And then, for many years, I have the Thai vet to continue to train our local talents, and then to ensure that, whether it's AI, host streaming, artificial inseminations and all this, we have to learn through the curve today, that only my IVF team, that is one specialist from Thailand.
Well done. Well, I just would like to say, on behalf of our viewers, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Umar. Thank you for spending time with us.
It's a wonderful journey. It creates employment, it's creating opportunity, it's having impact, and more importantly, it's a healthy product.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.